Hey guys, welcome back to another eBay video. This time I'm going to talk about handling returns as a seller. First off, be aware that when you're shipping overseas, some countries have very strict customs policies that requires either customs clearance documentation, ID, or extra customs fees. Now, I had a buyer from Brazil order something from me and I shipped it out to them. But when it arrived in their country, it was held at their customs and the customs contacted them saying that they needed to pay quite a large sum of money in order to clear the package from customs to get it to them. So at first, the customer didn't want to pay that because it was more money than they expected. And so what they must have done was they automatically requested eBay to start a return request. Now, when a return request begins, if the buyer is paying for it, they may have initiated a tracking number with a company like FedEx for the return shipment, and you'll get a tracking number. However, that doesn't mean that they actually return the product yet. It just means that a tracking number has been reserved, and so FedEx is going to wait to pick up that package, and then once it's shipped back, it'll be tracked and you can update it and see the status of it. But after he opened up a request return, we had communicated back and forth through messages. He was shocked that he had to pay almost double the amount in customs fees to get it released. And I agreed with him that those kinds of fees are pretty outrageous and it's unfortunate that his country's customs rules are like that. I told him that if he returns the package, he can get a refund, but he's going to lose a lot of deductions. And so whatever he gets refunded is probably going to be so small that it's actually better for him to just pay the fees at customs and at least get your product. And I also told him I'll help cover a little bit of those fees for him. And so I threw him a $15 credit, something like that. And just because I was willing to help him out and then I was listening to him, he seemed to be understanding. And he decided that he'll just go ahead and accept my partial refund to help him pay the fees. And he'll just pay the fees and release the shipment. And that's apparently what he did, because shortly after our messages on December the 10th, the tracking information actually shows that it was delivered to him. So everything's cool. However, he did open the return request and that was still left open. Perhaps he must have forgot to close it after we had communicated with each other. After many days go by, eBay actually contacts me and says, has the item been returned back to you? If it has, please refund the customer by X date. And if you don't, then the customer can actually ask eBay to step in and try to close the case for him. So I went to look at the return tracking number just to see where it was, because I thought that the buyer and I had agreed that he was just going to accept my partial refund and pay off the customs fees and keep the item. But when I check the tracking number in FedEx, I can see that there's no information about this number. Now, if you see this indicates that while a tracking number was pre-scheduled, it didn't actually pick up a return package. And so nothing was picked up and sent back. Just a tracking number was reserved. That's why there's no update or information on this tracking number. It doesn't exist in FedEx's system. So this tells me that the buyer just forgot to close the return case, left this return request open with a tracking number, but eBay doesn't know this, so that's why they're reminding me if I got the return back to please pay the customer their money back. Otherwise, they can step in and a case could be closed in their favor and perhaps possibly affect my seller performance. But because I already knew this is what had happened, I felt confident enough. I contacted eBay, explained them the situation. They looked into it and confirmed there's no actual verified return tracking number that shows that it was returned or shipped back. They closed the return case in my favor, and that was the end of it. So I just wanted to share this because it might be helpful for some people who are going through returns, that you have to make sure that when the buyer is going to return something to you, that they provide a tracking number which has to show that it was shipped out and eventually delivered back to you before you send a refund. So this wasn't an intentional scam attempt. I think the buyer just simply didn't know or forgot that they had opened up a return case after we had communicated and agreed that I would give him a partial refund and help him pay the customs fees so that he can get his package released and delivered to him. So I hope that helps anyone out there. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment down below. I'll do my best to answer them. Please don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe so that I can make more content like this. And until next time, guys.